What's going down? It's Wes here, aka Seahawks Prime, and this is the Seahawks Times, your go-to NFL channel, and definitely your go-to Seahawks channel, where we talk everything NFL related, rumors, stats, news, analysis, all of it. You got it right here. I'm going to get into it right now. Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson to the Seahawks. The concept of that blows my mind. You know, he's a free agent. You would have to give up insane capital to get Lamar Jackson if you're any team. Seattle's one of the only teams that would potentially have the draft capital and player capital, perhaps, in 23 to make a trade with the Baltimore Ravens for Lamar Jackson. I have no idea why they'd want to give up Lamar Jackson unless there was any sort of internal conflict, which I'm not saying there is. You know what? I got to talk about this right now, and something that's often lost in football videos and vlogs and in football media is fun. It's fun to think about Lamar Jackson on my team. There's a lot of reasons why I'll get into. I do not think Lamar Jackson will end up a Seahawk, but it's fun just to think about some things that would be absolutely insane. Like a run-pass option with Rashard Penny, Kenneth Walker, Lamar Jackson, with DK Metcalf threatening, pre-snap motion with Eskridge coming around the side. You've got Fant in the middle. Lamar just steps back. You think he's going to run. He stops. He throws a seam to Fant. DK's already blocking the safety downfield. It's a touchdown. Stuff like that is so fun for me to think about. And we often just get so caught up in the media talking heads saying why things can or cannot happen in cap space and all that stuff. And it's true. You know, it's factual. We have to be realistic as fans and set ourselves up with realistic expectations at times. But me, as the Seahawks Prime, I like to look at the biggest possible picture because I love the sport. It's so fun to me, and I like to think about different combinations of players. I'm a Seahawks fan first. I love Seattle. I always have, you know, and I've been down with this team since the Kingdom. It is what it is. Some of you guys are more OG than me, but we're not the only team in the NFL, and we are not the only team with awesome players in the NFL. So, you know, the Lamar Jackson conversation is totally different than the Baker Mayfield conversation. It's totally different than, you know, a Jimmy Garoppolo conversation. It's a thing in its own. Lamar Jackson would fit in Seattle, and I'm sure that Pete Carroll is salivating at the idea of having a player like Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is underrated as a thrower. He's still underrated as an overall decision maker. He's never really had premier weapons on the outside. I mean, Hollywood Brown is an awesome player, but he's like 5'4", guys. He's really not physically imposing. You can jam him. He's got great speed and a great player. Now, as we all know, Hollywood is no longer there. He's in Arizona with Kyler Murray. He's gone. He's playing on the other side of D-Hop now. What are they doing with Lamar Jackson there? I mean, they got Rashard Bateman there. You know, he's a good possession receiver. I think he's not pushing the envelope downfield. He's not threatening with deep speed. You know, he's fast, but he's not that guy. Proche, Devon Ray, like, what are they doing? Why are they not building marquee weapons around him? Even at running back, J.K. Dobbins, you know, probably a breakout year, but I don't think he's a top, you know, maybe 8 back per se. Lamar Jackson is the offense. So there you have it with that aspect. Oh, let's not forget about at TE. Mark Andrew is awesome, but is Mark Andrew more talented than Noah Fant? No, he isn't. You know, those are the types of things. So Lamar Jackson to me is maybe even better than he seems. He makes that team look maybe better offensively than it is just because he's so electric. So yes, you would have to give up all your first round picks, all of your second round picks, and probably some interior play to get Lamar Jackson. I don't think Seattle will do it. I think that if Seattle is to get back to contending, we cannot spend all of our capital and we can't spend all of our money. I do think we need to sign DK Metcalf for starters, take it from there. Next year in the draft, you have Will Levis, you have CJ Stroud. Who else do I like next year? I guess KJ Jefferson. Those are pretty redundant conversations about QBs next year. There's some other depth. I'm not sure that it's astronomically better than this year's quarterback draft. I mean, time will tell. But, you know, there will be some players taken in the first couple rounds at least, which was absolutely ridiculous this year. I guess how bad the quarterback draft was on paper. But let's just talk about fun. I love to think about Lamar Jackson playing with these players, and I just envision that sometimes without having to make a Madden team of Lamar finding DK, Lamar finding Tyler Lockett, Lamar with D. Eskridge, Kenneth Walker, Rashard Penny. That would be like Super Bowl level offense. But it takes patience to build a championship team. It takes a lot of patience conversations, because as great as that player is, he's chewing up much of your money. And, you know, really, that's why Russell isn't really, why Russ isn't with us anymore. He's going to demand $54, plus $1 million a year. When we have some up and coming players and some talent, we got to look ahead. We don't quite have, or didn't quite have, the Super Bowl roster in place to justify paying somebody Aaron Rodgers, which will soon be Russell Wilson, kind of money. So is Lamar Jackson going to be that guy that breaks the mold and Seattle brings in? You know, as John Snyder says and Pete says, they're always in discussion about everything. They're in on every trade. I've been wrong before. You know, I'll be admitted, I didn't think Russell Wilson would be traded in 2022. I thought he'd be traded next season, or, you know, they rework something. But here we are. And let's have fun with football, guys. Let's think about the players that we have, enjoy what we have now. We can fantasize about players that could come and join our team to make it extra, push it over the edge. But it's okay to dream about pairing, you know, a Lamar Jackson with all these players. And it's okay to be pessimistic about it too. It's your view of the sport. I want this vlog to be about you and us, to have real conversations about football and what we agree on and we disagree on, and what we love and we don't love about the politics of the sport and everything. I know it sounds like a rant, but I really love this stuff, guys. It's freaking fascinating to me. This year, I'm toying with the idea of going to the Broncos opening night game. I might just go and check a random game too, like the Falcons in Seattle. I love watching off-cuff games that may not be good games. And there, you know, there's always something to watch here. There's always something to fascinate about. Please, guys, let me know in the comments if Lamar Jackson becomes available somehow on the trade block to the Seattle Seahawks. Do we pull the trigger in these two scenarios? One, if Drew Lock is already killing it. Two, if we're already eyeballing somebody like a Will Levis. Or three, is it just something you have to do anyway because it puts you over the top and puts you into a different window quicker than you thought? I want to know what you think below here. I know I was really hyped up today. The season's getting closer and I'm really feeling the energy and I'm really having a great time with this channel. I'm at 200 and something subs. It only started a couple weeks ago. Help me get this channel up. Share it with your friends if you're a football fan, particularly a Seahawks fan. I love you guys, man. I really do love my fellow NFL community. If you're a real one and a good person, you know, I'm here for you. Let's go.